Hello and welcome to IT Lab Talk Part 6. If you're new to this series, make sure you go to jobskillshare.org and then click on Job Skill Share and then click on Playlist. In Playlist, I will add the Part 6 in this series. Make sure to watch this first video to understand why we are calling it Lab Talk. So let's go to the lab. I am inside my CompTIA A+ lab and I'm going to go to the section that we have left. So this is the one, understand computer virtualization. Now, understanding virtualization is extremely important for you because now things are moving towards virtualized environment, hybrid environment, and now cloud environment also. You may see a company using all of it all together, like physical servers and then virtual servers, and then now some servers on the cloud, like some of the Active Directories are moving to the cloud, Azure. Some of these servers are moving to Amazon, and even the VMware stuff is all around there. So just to give you an example why it is important for you to learn about virtualization, simply if I go to indeed.com and every time you're confused about some skill, always do like help desk and then type something like VMware. So check this out. If you do help desk VMware, you may come across some positions that are kind of a little bit more than help desk. You see right there, it says systems administrator. Now when you see a title like that, they're expecting you to actually administer the whole virtualization environment, like you should be really good at maintaining that system. But when it comes to desktop support technician, they probably will just say familiar with VMware stuff. They won't say you need to build up the whole host environment for a company and do all that kind of stuff. That is a system admin job. But you can see clearly right here, just by this is a job that is kind of like 30 days ago somebody posted it, but most of it they will just want you to know, do you know anything about virtualization? Because you may be doing certain tasks that are very basic, and so that's why they will like it. I mean, I don't think it's really like a hard requirement like troubleshooting PC and things like that, but it's good because if you have an interview and somebody asks you about virtualization, then you can really land some points by, yeah, I know about VMware, I know about HyperV. As you can see, if you come to this lab, they have HyperV covered in there, but you can also do some little bit more searching, and in this lab you have actually a VMware, the whole VMware certifications right here. So I'd say just learn some basics in there, and in help desk course we have actually covered that also. If you're taking the live training, we also teach you that. One of our session is about understanding virtualization, so we teach you both VMware and Hyper-V at the basic level. That's live. And if you are taking the free course, and in that we have also covered on a virtual box, try to give you like understanding of what virtualization is. So if you come down to this course, which is help desk right here, in this we have also covered one section which is called working on virtualization. Now if I go back to my CompTIA A+, let's see what we have in this, configuring and managing printers. Of course, if you are a help desk person, you're the entry level, anytime there's an issue with that printer, you are going to be called on. Setting up a Windows printing service, troubleshooting common printing, network printing problems. You should know how to troubleshoot some basic stuff like restarting a printer. Does this printer have an IP address? Understanding virtual printing. Now you may come across some of the calls from users that, hey, we need to print this PDF to the virtual printing. Like, you mean we don't want to print this to a real printer, we want to print it to our document and things like that. Yes, Windows may have their own tools, but there are some good tools out there like virtual printers. You can actually deploy it through some deployment software, and then your company this kind of request, you can do it that way. This is not something that's being used a lot. A lot of people actually know this themselves when they do printing, because when you do print option, you actually get these kind of options. So you may not get a call for this, but hey, it's good to know there are virtual softwares that you can install on a computer to become like a virtual printer in your computer. So understand cloud-based applications, for example, signing up for Microsoft 365 trial, creating share folder in OneDrive summary. We have a whole course on this, like Office 365, because we know it's so important now. Here we have about almost 3,399 people in there, and we know this is so important. A lot of people usually skip through this. When you are taking A plus, they're not teaching you pretty much this like in a very extensive way, and this is something that a lot of people are moving to. Think about your emails now. So many organizations have moved from Exchange Server locally to Office 365, and they're using all these OneDrive, Office, installing Office from OneDrive from your Office 365, and so many other features. So it's becoming a normal calls for the help desk now. This is kind of like, I would say 40 to 30% of your calls are coming from just Microsoft Office 365. And again, if you're not sure, if you want to confirm, is this a real thing that I should invest my time on, I definitely say yes, because first, it looks your resume looks pretty much up to date. It kind of tells the other person that you're keeping up with the technology, and also it's a good skill to learn, because this is where things are moving. They're really, like, Office Microsoft is really good in this area, and so many organizations are in this area right now. So if I do Office 365, look at the titles. Almost most of them are kind of like help desk titles. You can see that there are some system admins, but most of them will be a help desk. Even though I'm using definitely the keyword right there, but Office 365 can land you like its own job. Like, you can actually become an Office 365 administrator and make really good money if you are interested in going into this route, because there are some jobs that are going to just hire you for Office 365 type of administration. They have their own certifications too. So in this course, not only that we teach you everything from basic to advanced, we also give you access to our partner portal. If you have access to premium account, or maybe you bought it like a single access, you get like certification based courses, like 4 or 5 courses from Office 365. They're really cool. So let's go back to the lab, and another section is configuring mobile devices. Now, of course, if you're working in a help desk, you're gonna get call from people. I have an Android. I just bought an Android. I just bought my iPhone. Can I come upstairs, or can I come this day? I want you to configure my email. I want you to configure my calendar. I need to install some apps for Office 365. I need to install this and that. You need to know at least how to kind of like work around with email stuff like that. Now, of course, you're not offering an help desk. You don't just say, oh, I'm gonna fix your phone, I'm gonna fix your screen and stuff like that. You don't do that. But at the same time, you just need to know basics of, if your company is using something and it has a mobile application, then you should first install it on your mobile app. And if you don't have that certain type of phones, then ask around, and maybe your other co-worker have like iPhone with them, and then tell them to show it to you before a customer or a client comes to you, and then you're a little bit like confused, and you don't want to be in that situation. So, or just do Google search it. When you Google search something, go to images. You usually see the images of that phone, and that gives you an idea. So when a user comes to you, it's really easy, and you're not like in that stress environment that somebody's looking over your shoulder and you're like, what to do. So configuring email and on a mobile devices, remember I just talked about it, and there's another full lab about it. So they even teach you right here too. So definitely take this lab. Managing file system security. This is something, again, you're going to be working on a lot if you're working with desktops. Most of the time people are using servers. They store their files over there, some type of storage servers or whatever, but it's a desktop that is going to be accessing these files. And then you need to know how to do permissions in that server. Also, as a help desk, you may get this type of ability to do this. You may also go to the desktops, and you may have to do some sharing and doing things like that between 2 desktops, and you should know how to do this. This is a very basic thing, but it could be a very basic interview question too. Do you know how to do permissions and stuff like that? Managing BitLocker drive encryption. this one is really, it depends on companies. A lot of people don't go there because it is a little bit, if you do this, then there are other things that you need to really take care of. But do it. I would say it's good because it's going to be like a project for you. Maybe at some point that maybe someone will say, hey, can you just encrypt this drive and things like that for security reasons? Then yes, I would go with it, and you should do it. At least learn it. It's good to know. Working with Linux command line. Now, I will be honest, if you're working in a Windows environment, it is really hard for you to kind of like, focus on Linux stuff. Linux is its own world. You if you want to become a Linux, you'll probably become a Linux. They don't call Linux a Linux help desk. I usually don't see that much. When someone call you a help desk, when someone call you a desktop support, when someone call you a user support technician, you're mostly working in a Microsoft Active Directory, Office 365 type of environment. But like I said, IT is so complex, and so it's such a, it depends on a company. Like I say, if a company is solving an issue by even using Linux, they're going to use it. They don't care about what environment it is and all that kind of stuff. If there's an issue and something gets resolved, if it's Linux or whatever, they're going to use it. So maybe in your environment, you may see a lot of Macs with Windows, maybe 20 Macs and 300 Windows, maybe 300 Macs and 20 Windows. Maybe somebody's moving from Windows to Mac to Windows, but you're going to see this mixture, so it's good to know another operating site or just the basic things about Linux. So here you have a ability to do that, and in this, basically in CompTIA, this whole premium access, you also get Linux access too. So you can see right here, it's a full Linux 103, 104. They teach you everything just like A+. So I wouldn't really jump around between two labs, because you're gonna get confused. If you're new, you should focus one only first. So if you're gonna go for help desk and stuff like that, then focus on Windows operating systems and just do this basic task in this lab that you're seeing in Linux. Performing basic file management in Linux, again, that's kind of like Linux basic stuff. Understand internet protocol and basic in Linux stuff. As again, you're doing some of the similar, how to reset the network and stuff like that. Understand basic networking, troubleshooting in Linux. And then the last one is exam if you really want it. But these exams are not like, they're not like as I would say. It depends. If you're going to be using these exams, then of course it's like it depends. So if I start this, you can see you have all of these questions and answers right here. So if you want to prepare yourself, you can definitely look at this. There's a lot of questions if you want to go for certification. But I like one of those other exams where you can just buy the Mayor up. We also have a partnership with them, but because then they test you like a real exam. They give you like a timer and everything. But our courses are not based on exams, and we are not focused on certifications. We're focused on real world scenarios. That's why I'm teaching these lab talk videos. In our next lab talk video, we are going to share this one, which is a new CompTIA Network Plus, which is extremely powerful. And you should also, after the basic stuff, then you are going into that core learning, that core technology learning and bigger things. Because after help desk, you may want to become a system admin, but even in help desk, if you have understanding of these things like DHCP, DNS, VPN and things like that, that will make your life extremely easy. But even help desk is becoming so complex and advanced now, they also need to know this. So that's why we're going to do Network Plus after this session. Today is our last session in CompTIA A+. Let me know if you guys like this type of videos. Of course, we cannot do all these tasks and show the videos. It's never going to end then. This is for you to get these labs and then practice. Once you practice and watch these videos again and again, then things will make sense, and that's where you're going to connect the reality with the labs. And then when you go to the job or you go to the interview, you should be able to answer these questions that people will be asking. And not only that, your IT life will be really less stressful. And if you think that you're in a situation where you want to learn these with us, make sure go to IT training and then take one of our live training, which is either 5 days or 2 days. It's a little bit investment, but it's a good investment. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in our different lab.